order for me to feel better?
Well, now, I want to pick from the point of becoming better or even trying to feel better. It is my opinion that one can only survive in a situation where they are skilled on it. If I throw you in a river, you don't know how to swim, chances are you're going to drown. So
you will drown.
You will drown. If I put you in a situation where you're not skilled to navigate, chances are you're going to struggle. And I'm looking at us men in that perspective, that we are in a situation called life. We need certain skill sets to navigate. For a long time, we have had agents of socialization. Family inculcates some values. As you said, you grew up in a family, so you pick up things on how to navigate. Then you go to school, another agent of socialization. Then you're exposed to religion, another greater agent of socialization. Then you had peers, the boys, the young, and all those age groupings. So we have picked up ways on how to deal with things, and then that's where the comparison would come up. We'd be told, okay, now you're not of age to be doing the things you've been doing, you need to graduate to other things. But today, we have a mega agent of socialization called the social media, or the internet, whatever name we can use. And also our societies have grown or developed, if I may, such that our cultural settings have collapsed. Where young boys, young men used to be mentored. That is not very practical nowadays, even given our urban setups that are coming up. So we have lost some strongholds that would have held together the boy, because we're talking about men, as he grows to be a man. And then we have technology that has come to replace even parenting. You see young boys being left to watch cartoon for 2-3 hours instead of being outside playing, maybe because there's no a play field to go out to. You're living in an apartment. So there are all these factors, because one does not become a man in a day. It's a process of aging. There is a chronological aspect to it. So what I'm trying to ask, or rather to seek to understand, is that at what point do we agree that this person we are calling the modern man, before they talk about the mental health, that there are some societal letdowns that have prevailed over time, and now, hence the pandemic on the mental health, and hence now the need to seek interventions?
Okay. So, social media is pervasive, as you have rightly put it. And you have also asserted that it may be taking the place of perhaps shaping our values versus, say, the family. But the initial point that you made, or that was made in this conversation, was that we were brought up in families where we were told, don't cry. So here's what I'm saying. Yes, social media absolutely is playing a point in terms of us being able to manage these emotions, how we express them. In fact, there's a whole generation of people who, because you feel a little bit anxious today because of one thing, you then label yourself as somebody who's anxious. And there's all of these performative things going on the internet. So some of these things have to be taken with a grain of salt. When somebody comes there and says, I have mental health problems and all of that, a lot of this, particularly when it's played out on social media, as I said, is performative. But to your larger point, that same internet, which may have taken the place of parents, and if you're brought up with parents who helped you to become more emotional intelligence, or to manage your emotions, or to be more resilient, or to be more empathetic, or to, all of these wonderful things, good for you. But if the internet is now where you are getting your values from, that same internet is responsible, for example, for a philosophy called Stoicism, which is over 2,000 years old, but is practiced by millions of people across the world. There are more people practicing Stoicism today than were practicing it in the ancient Greek times or even in Roman times. So that same internet is responsible for the proliferation of a philosophy that helps people to manage their mental health, or to manage, their emotions and things like that. So it's a double-edged sword, is what I'm trying to say. Listen, I can't come here and tell you this is the answer. Switch off the internet like they're doing in the UK and they've done in Australia for anybody who is under the age of 16.
Yeah.
Maybe that is the right thing because the algorithm there or that you're watching is giving you values that perhaps are not compatible with what we as a community want to be. But that same internet can also give you Ryan Holiday, who has the Daily Stoic, who talks about how to manage your emotions every day and gives you the tools to do this. Final point. And you talked about this. Friends, family, that's where we get our families from. Religion, this is where we get our values from. And if we can connect with those values and we practice being the highest or the best version of ourselves, and also not treat everything as the end of the world. A little bit anxious, a little bit angry, fine. Emotions are data. They're just telling us something that is going on. There may be a larger problem that is going on, so it's giving a signal, but that in no way labels one as mentally unhealthy. Is that a word?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. So there's a little bit of nuance to this conversation. This conversation very often is approached by, oh, you know what? Man, there's a pandemic, there's a crisis, men don't know how to do this. This is how they're brought up, or the internet. I come from the point of view that it's a little bit more nuanced from that. And certainly in terms